It's
Let me blow my nose, get the boogery out.
Hey, it's your girl Trina with Joffrey Your TV. How y'all doing? Welcome to the family, the Joffrey Your family. Welcome all you purple hearts. Y'all know I love purple. Purple is my favorite color. Purple hearts. I refer all my audiences, everybody that's my audience guest as purple hearts because I love y'all. So welcome to Joffrey Your TV, where you get real moments, real people, and real experience. And this is our opinion, okay? This is for entertainment purposes only. And also, this is a no judgment zone, okay? We don't judge people over here, but we will get real. And we gonna tell it like it is over here. So, yes, we got a great brother in the house. He is my friend. He's been my friend for many years. And
Yes, yes.
we've been talking about getting on live and doing our thing, and we finally here. Okay. This
Right,
brother is
that's
a
right.
scholar. He's a advocate. He is a political advocate. He's very, very busy and very active, proactive within the community, Black community. He's been a minister for over 30 years, still going strong. And he's an owner operator, for his 9 to 5. He's an owner operator. He's on the road and he's doing his thing. And welcome, brother Cliff, in the building. How are you?
Hey, Katrina, how you doing, girl? Long time no see. Good to see you again. Looking all beautiful, and to all the purple hearts out there, God bless you. Yeah, we're gonna clock it today. All the purple
Period.
hearts out there, God bless you all, and thank you all for being in attendance today. I would like to greet all of you in the blessed name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And I would also like to say, stay out of this heat. It is hot out here. Please hydrate yourselves and stay out of the heat. Check on the elderly. That's what we need to do. Check
Absolutely.
on the elderly and make sure that they are okay, because they can catch it real quick. Yeah, y'all know what I mean. So
Absolutely.
yes, it's good to see you, girl. You're looking real good.
Me too. Thank
You're looking
you. I
very
tries.
looking
I
very good.
tries.
Yeah, you doing a great job too. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love
I
it.
try not to
So what's on?
stress. Hmm. Go
Yes.
ahead.
Yes, keep the stress down. And one of the things that we'll be talking about a little bit is it's the first cousin of what we're going to talk about today. So stress is part of it. And
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
what's on your mind?
Oh, well, if for those who didn't see the logo that I posted on the YouTube, crash out.
Yes.
It's been rampant, running rampant in the Black community. Crash out season.
Mhm.
We here to talk about mental health because it's very important. Um, it is not talked about enough because I guess
Mhm.
people scared of it, and it's been a taboo for many years. People don't want to really hone into it because they think, oh, is something wrong with that, and people just don't want to open up and be vulnerable. And mental health is without your mental, you cannot function. Mental health is the new
Correct.
wealth. I'm sorry, your mind got to be right, and we just don't talk about it enough. And I think we're here to encourage people to get
Mhm.
get some mental health, get help, get the help that you
Yes.
need, get evaluated, and so forth.
Yes.
So you'll have the tools to crash out in a better. You can still crash out, but not you know crash out all the
Yes.
way. You can do a light crash out, but not too much. But so I wanted to talk to
What?
you because I know you can give people the gems because you've been dealing with counseling for years,
Yes.
counseling people, and so I wanted to bring you on to talk more about mental health in the Black community? Go ahead, brother.
Well, one of the main things, Katrina, that has been sort of a taboo in the Black community has been the issue of mental health. It's a stereotype that if you go to see the doctor and the wrong person find out that you've been to see a psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor about certain issues, then in our community per se, it's become taboo. Nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to um to mess with you and things like that. But until we what we need to do now, we need to try to change that type of an atmosphere, because one of the things that I do know is that if we don't have good mental health, then I know from a ministerial standpoint, our spiritual life won't be good. Okay.
Woo!
And that
Okay.
affects the whole community as a whole. Um, there are
Right.
certain things in that trigger um mental health. You can go to work on a day-to-day basis, depending on what your work environment is like. And I know you've experienced some of this. Depending on what your work environment is like, you can go to work feeling really good about whatever happened last week, this week, or last night. And then all of a sudden, somebody says the wrong thing to you, or you may have taken it the wrong way, or they may have deliberately said it the wrong way. And then the next thing you know, the rest of your work day is jacked up. Okay, that's called a trigger. And we're
Mm.
gonna talk about some triggers today, because in order to not be triggered, you got to know how you're being triggered, why you're being triggered, and of course, the C variable is what to do about being triggered. So
Mm.
I wanted
Great
to
point.
to talk a little bit about that today. Um, there are a lot of things that can trigger you. Loud noise can trigger you. How people smell and how they come to you with
That ain't funny.
you know this for real, okay? If they don't emanate the right aroma, then that you could be triggered really quickly. Oh my God, he doesn't smell good. Why don't they make water on that side of town? Why didn't he take a bath? Why didn't that and the other? Okay, but there's and then there's certain people that you meet on a daily basis that trigger you. You already don't learn how to deal with those people because they're still around. But then there's conflict. And then in some people cases, there are what's called anniversary dates that trigger sadness, loneliness. Oh, loneliness is a big
Mhm.
thing in the Black community. And the thing about it is, Black people are so proud. We are such a proud people that we don't actually tell people when we are hurting.
Mm.
That's one of the things that I wish we would do more, is tell people when we are hurting, because it's not an easy thing at all. Um,
But
being
where do you stand? Where did
Black
that
in this,
stem from? Not to cut you off. Where did that stem from? Where people just do not want to open up and they bottle it up and they don't want to be vulnerable. But they feel, do you think that they feel like they're going to be attacked? Or I mean, why do you think
well,
people don't do it?
it's a sense of pride. Number one is almost to a point where people think that you can't control your life. See, America is not based really. They say America is based on a family thing. No, it's not.
Mm.
America is based on individual prosperity. That's all throughout. Because you got to remember, it has to be, because the woman wasn't even considered uh, uh, um, worthy of the vote. They were not equal to men. Of course, the slaves weren't equal to men either. So it's all set up for a one man game. Okay. So it's a prideful thing, especially in our community, because that's the reason why we don't seek help. We don't seek help on a lot of health issues. We know that we're sick, but there's this stigma really in our community about just being sick. You don't
Right.
want to be sick. You want to look good, you want to smell good, you want to walk good, and you don't really want to walk, but you want to drive good. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And keeping up with the Joneses, out that whole mentality comes back into our psyche as far as our health is concerned. If he's healthy and say,
Ooh.
man, he don't never go to the hospital, he don't never do this, he don't never go see a doctor, he's all healthy. I think I can do the same thing. No, you can't, because you're made up differently. Everybody is made up differently. But back to mental health. Um, Socially, we look at it like this, Katrina. We look at it like this. Um, I need to be able to take care of myself. If I can't take care of myself, there's no need for me to ask some lady to marry me. There's no need for me to bring children into this world. There's no need for me to do any of those things that are so socially acceptable if I cannot take care of myself. But the stereotype in our community has been, if you seek mental health, if you seek help with your psychological problems or whatever you might call them, then there's something wrong with you. There's this deep-seated stigma in our community. And one of the things, we've got to get rid of that, because to me, that's why God made psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors, to go see them if something is bothering you or wrong with you. A lot of times, I'm gonna tell the purple that a lot of times your pastor is not qualified to tell you about mental health. They're just not quite, they don't have that education. So we're not gonna put that all on them. We need to start at the root, which is us. And when we're rearing our kids, we need to tell them, hey, look, if you feel like there's something wrong with you, if you need to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist, put it in your insurance. That's what it's
Mm.
there for. Put it in your insurance. Let your kids be taken care of. Because even as parents don't know everything, so they have to use the licensed people as they see fit to make sure that their
Right.
children are okay. But there are a lot of things, Katrina, that but the main thing in our community is the stereotype that if I see you going up to see the shrink, then I don't want to deal with you because you crazy. You might do something to me, and I don't really want to be involved with that type of a
We got to get
situation.
out of that though.
But
We got to get out of that. We really got to get out of that and be more open to
mhm,
mental health, because if your mind is not in the right space, if your mind is not right to where you get the professional help, you cannot maneuver on this earth. You can, but you'll be dysfunctional. So, I just think people,
yeah.
even if you don't have a mental illness, it's always good to talk to people, to get the tools to be able to cope. Like you said, work, stress from home life, marriage, or whatever. And I want to bring up something
Mhm,
you brought up, the thing marriage, about, if my mind ain't right, why
yeah.
should I get married? And I wanted to bring up, do you think a mental evaluation will be appropriate before marriage? Woo! I'm just
Okay, so
saying.
we going there. All right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So so we, so we going there. Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Do I think that a mental evaluation? Well, here's the thing. Okay. My God. Here here's the thing. I see what you're talking about, because in the old days they would test you blood to see if you got something wrong with you physically, like
Right.
some kind of disease or something. So I see where you're trying to go with that,
Yeah.
but I'm not
Yeah.
letting you get away with that, okay? I'm not, but I'm not letting you get away with nothing like that, okay?
Why
Uh,
not? We're just having
no,
a conversation.
yeah, I understand, but see, here's the thing, Katrina. Like, if a woman, okay, let's say you've been dating this man for a year and some change, because that normally, I've had the privilege of being the officiant at, I don't know, countless weddings. Okay. So, but, and most of them, I think there was only like maybe two what we would call shotgun weddings. You know what I'm saying? That,
Mm-hmm.
in other words,
Mm-hmm.
not no kind of little, not physical shotgun, but a mental shotgun. They had to get married because her parents, she was pregnant, and her parents didn't want her to be having a baby without having that baby's last name and them being part of a, you don't know how that was back in the day
Yeah,
and
yeah, back in
whatnot.
the day.
But
Mm-hmm.
back to you, back to you. You can't get away with this. Back to you, okay? Um, do I think that a person should have a mental evaluation before going into marriage? I think that mental evaluation should be going on the whole time that you are dating. Once you say, "Hey, what's your name?" until the point where he puts the ring on your finger, until the point where you stand before a preacher or a judge to be married. Okay, I think that's it.
Hmm.
I think both people should be doing mental evaluations on each other.
Period. Period. I agree. I
No, no, no,
agree.
no, no, no. I'll talk about between each other, right? But then that's not
Mm.
really your question. You want to know, should he be sent? See,
No,
I
both
know
people,
you,
both
Katrina.
people, not just him.
No, no,
Both
no,
people
no,
go
no,
get
no, no, no.
evaluated. Both people
Most of
go
the
get
time, they don't
evaluated.
think that. But most of the time, I'm not being chauvinistic or male centered about this. But most of the time, it's the woman that wants the man evaluated. Okay, it's
No,
true. That's
no,
most of it.
that's what you're
Yes,
saying.
it is.
That's what you're saying. I ain't saying that. I said it
Yeah,
just like you said,
that's
just
what.
like you said in the marriage, both people are getting an STD panel. We got that. Same thing. You
Mhm.
just getting a panel for your mind. Pretty much, y'all going to counseling. Y'all going to get. There's nothing wrong with going to counseling before
No, no, no.
marriage.
Okay, let me tell you about counseling, the counseling part of that. Then I'll get back to answering your question, okay? The
Okay.
counseling part, people waste their time when they go to marriage counseling.
Mm.
They literally do. They
Break it down.
literally
Break it
waste,
down. Break it down.
I mean, they literally waste their time because marriage is not what they're going to tell you about. They're going to tell you about things from their perspective, okay? And their
Mm.
perspective when they was that young, most of them, okay, let's say you got a degree. You got a degree in marriage counseling, and people coming to you, you've been doing this stuff for 20 years. Well, when you first got married, that would put you at the year 2000. The
Mm.
world has totally changed since then. The parameters are different.
All right.
Everything is different. Not saying that he can't go and get updated on things like that, but most of the time he's going to tell you what him and his wife does and how he solves the problems with him and his wife. Now that might be good, but it might not be up to date. Okay,
Yeah.
please understand that. Now, if you're going to say, hey, I want, let's say you and I, we're seeking to get married, right? So you say, Cliff, I think think you need a psychological evaluation. I'm go- I am going to literally be offended at you because you mean to tell me, Katrina, you mean to tell me that a whole year plus, maybe even 2 years, you don't know me well enough without having to send me to a psychiatrist or a psychologist in order for them. See,
Because here's
here's
the
the thing.
thing. The reason why I say that is because
But
okay, we've been dating for 2 years. We engaged, right? And I see some red flags, and I
right,
just say,
right.
hey, I love you enough to stay with you, but hey, you want to go get some
Okay,
some kind of evaluation to see what's
I
going on?
man. Okay. Give me just in just in the interest of the heart, people, which is the people who are watching this. Give me an example or what would be a red flag? I mean, from a mental, no. From a
Oh my God.
mental standpoint, because remember, we're going for a psychological. If you crazy, we're going for a psychological evaluation, right? So, What would be? What would be one of the triggering points that you might not like that a potential fiance person or might want them to go see a doctor of the mind about.
Um. Oh, I hadn't even thought that far. Um. You know, just certain things like he could be more what's the word, not non-communicative. He doesn't communicate, withdrawn. um you know I mean, I don't know, I didn't thought that far, but you see some red flags.
Okay.
He may not pick up his
Okay.
clothes. He might be a little nasty. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
But he might. Why are you with this person? Okay. I want to know if he's nasty.
Here's the
Why are you with
thing.
this person?
Some
No.
people you can't
But
control. You can't control who you love now. You might be in love with somebody and they're a
that
little
now
off. They talking to
that
themselves. They
that
walking around, pacing back and forth and talking to themselves. And you like, well, I love him still. I mean, he walking around talking to himself. Shit.
it's so wrong. I mean, but now okay, we gotta come back full circle, okay? Watch this. Now you finna send him for a psychological evaluation, okay? And he's thinking in his mind, wait now, hold up a minute. Why am I doing this? Wait, I took her to dinner over again. I hold the door for her. She never touches anything. I show I show chivalry, the likes of which she's never experienced before. In other words, I open the door, I uncover her with a coat. I do all of those things. I stand
But
up
you
when she
showing
comes in the
signs.
room.
But you showing signs that you're unhinged, and so if you show you can do
But I'm
all of that
still
stuff,
crazy.
but you
But I'm
unhinged, and
but but I'm still see this what I'm talking. So can a man win? I mean, can he really win? Can he actually win? Because
yeah,
I'm like, if a man,
yeah, man.
if you've been with a man to a point where he's giving you like the big diamond or engagement ring and all that,
I
then
got that ice.
then
I got that
after
ring.
that, after he gives you
Mhm.
the ring, don't you think you should ask him to go for a psychological evaluation before he gives you the ring?
Yeah, I
Huh?
would say as
You should,
soon as you start into the dating, I say even before the proposal. But then again, some men probably say I'm not going to propose to her now because she think I need to go get evaluated. And I think that's why we're having this
that
conversation
that was
today. That's what you were saying about the
uh-huh.
taboo, about people having a stigma, because
Mhm.
certain people will feel some type of way, and we got to get out of that whole,
Yeah.
oh, well, damn,
I mean,
she think I'm crazy and unhinged. He
yeah,
might be
but
dealing
okay,
with some
Katrina.
triggers. Here's the thing, he might be dealing with
Yeah, but
triggers. He
okay.
might be unhealed
Hmm.
from a past relationship, a past marriage, and he hadn't got over his ex. He's still hurting over the ex. The ex cheated on him or whatever, and so he's bringing that into the new relationship. And then there's some triangulation there, or he's bringing up the past and using the ex to go, like you said, taking it out on the new person. Yes, I think he need to go get some kind of
Well, that
evaluation. But most men are not going to do it. They're not. They're not going to do it. Like you said, they're not going to do it. Oh, she
I
think I'm
think
crazy.
I think listen, I don't see this is the difference between evaluation and counseling. Okay? See that's the difference. What you should be sending him for is not a psych evaluation, but for premarital counseling by himself. Now you don't go.
I agree. I agree
You
with
do
that. I
not
agree
go
with that. Yeah,
by
I agree with that.
himself. And
Yeah, I
see,
agree with
because
that.
here's the thing: when you go with him, if you
Mm-hmm.
go with him, whoever's doing the counseling is automatically gonna start talking about what him and his wife do. Counseling is good, but a lot of times counseling need to be individual. Because if that other person's spouse come up, then the counselor feels like, hey, I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt him in front of her, and I don't want to say anything in front of her that's going to hurt him. You see what I'm
I
saying?
agree. Yeah, I
So,
agree with that. Yeah, it's a way to
so,
do it.
so,
It's a way to do
so,
it.
so,
Yeah.
so to me, yeah. So to me, he don't need a a psych evaluation, Katrina. He
Okay.
needs just to be talked to. Okay. And a lot of times brothers themselves can do this, or an older man can do this. Okay. An older, and I'm gonna be racially specific
Mm.
with it. Okay. An older black man, because a black man can relate to what a younger black man is going through. It's unique. Okay, it's very unique. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
but to answer your question totally, okay. I mean, that's real brave to want your man to go to get a psychological evaluation before you get
No,
walked
I
down.
wouldn't do that. I
I've
wouldn't do
never heard
that.
that
No, I
before
was just asking a
until
question.
today.
I wouldn't do that
Uh,
personally. I wouldn't do that personally. Like if
Okay.
he on his own, if he wants to go get help, now I would encourage, and I think that's what we need to start doing
I,
in the Black community. Encourage people to get some type of counseling. Go talk to somebody, especially if they're struggling with certain things. There's nothing wrong with that. But like you said, a lot of people go, oh, what do you? I don't want nobody to think I'm crazy. We got to get out of that. Stop worrying about what people think. Go get the help that you need, because how are we going to ever form healthy relationships, whether it's platonic, whether it's whatever? You know what I'm saying? You got to be healthy in this
mhm,
thing. We want to be healthy. So
mhm.
that was the point that I wanted to make. So
Yeah, and that would be a good thing. But just, I mean, I've never heard it quite expressed like that. A man going to get a psychological evaluation for a
like,
marriage,
baby,
but I
you
can
know what,
understand it
baby? You know what,
because,
baby?
but
Do you
really, a
think you want
lot
to
of
go
this
get
stuff goes
a
all the
psych
way back.
evaluation because you're a little off?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, I'm gonna marry this girl, and she already think I'm crazy as hell. No, I don't think so. So, I mean, come on.
Cuckoo for
So you,
Cocoa
who,
Puffs. I'm
who's got
playing.
who's got to do that, Lady K? I mean, it's like
Nobody.
if you ask me to go, I would like, okay, I'll go, I'll go. You know I ain't going, right? You know I ain't going. I ain't going to get no psychological evaluation. Talk about marrying you. You already think I'm crazy. Okay. To me, a person that does that, all they do all they doing is setting you up. No, no. They'll be putting you on the insurance and all that. Well, he jumped out the window. They'll be like, what? He jumped out the window. You know you pushed him out that window. He jumped out the window. Look at his psychological evaluation. He was already having problems. That's why he went to get a psychiatrist. Nah,
Crash
don't
out.
do it. Do not
Crash
do it.
out.
But that,
Okay.
but that crashed completely out. But mental health has a lot of things that it can affect you physically.
Yeah.
Let's and that's one of the things that black people don't understand when they because there's abuse on the job, there's abuse in the streets. Sometimes there's abuse in the worship houses
Mm.
because of church hurt, and sometimes there's abuse in the family stature. Um, what I'm trying to say is families abuse people also. Okay, what I mean is your own siblings can abuse you. Okay,
You're right.
your own mother and father can abuse you. Okay,
Yep.
so that leads to a lot of spiritual and mental pain. How does a person get out of this? And
Mm.
has been a question that's been asked for a long time. And those types of abuses, those types of mental things in our Black community, they leads to anxiety. You're nervous about everything. I mean, everything that happens is an elevated trigger. Okay. And then it leads to physical pain because you don't get no sleep. You're always tired. You feel rejection, and that's what I meant by your family can reject you, and there's no worse rejection than when your family rejects you. Okay,
Ooh,
when your
period.
family rejects you, it's horrible, and then it leads to one of the things I think that causes suicide rates to be so high. And this really, Black people don't really kill themselves. White people do. Okay, white people do. But one of the
Yeah,
triggers is loneliness. All of those things lead to loneliness. And before it comes into the Black community, I would encourage us to try to do something about that. Okay. You get a lot of negative talk from people. Oh, I know you ain't gonna never do this. I know you ain't gonna never be that. I know you ain't gonna never. Where did you get this from? You know, all of this stuff. Okay. All of this stuff goes back to being triggered in this mental health thing in our own Black community. So one of the things that we should start to build, like Job did, build in the book of Job, God built a hedge around him. So we need to build a hedge around our own Black community and say it's okay to go see the psychiatrist. It's okay to go see the counselor. It's okay to see the psychologist. It's okay to pull the pastor to the side and rely on him for some of his wisdom. It's okay to talk to some of the brothers who are senior in your community and whatnot
mm,
about different things. Okay. Because
right.
that's not the sign of somebody who's having a mental breakdown. That's the sign of somebody who's trying to fix a problem before it happens. And that's
Mm,
the stereotype that's in our community. They think that we're not able to fix our own community. And we are. We got everything that the world has, we have in our community. We can fix ourselves. But the main thing that we need to do is get rid of this stereotype about mental health in the Black community. We've got to stop this.
I agree.
We've got to stop this. Um,
Can you hone
and
in
and and
on?
and
Mhm.
once we stop this, I think the whole community will be better. Huh?
Yeah,
Say it
exactly.
again.
No, I agree with you. Can you hone in
Say it again.
on the racial? I said I agree
Yes.
with you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes.
No, can you
Yes, I
elaborate
can.
about
Yes.
can you elaborate on the racially triggers, whether it's the workplace or whatever we want I want to talk
Well,
about
well,
racially and racially triggers and stuff like that cuz you did go into the stereotypes, so I wanted you to
well,
go into the more of that.
well. Most of the time, the only time Black people deal with white folk, I mean, we might go to a Dollar General or something, and the cashier might be white, and we might say 2 or 3 words greeting to them, and pay for our food, and then we don't talk to no white person again for the next in a social setting for the next 2 3 weeks or something like that,
Mhm.
right? But
Right.
on your job, especially if you do plant work or things like that, you're going to run into those people. Okay, you're going to run into white people. All right, YT people. You're going to
The
run into them,
clears. The
and
clears.
a lot of times, milk people, envelopes, they call them all kinds of names now. I can't even remember all the names they got for them. They call them 8.5 by 11. But but elaborating on that, I would simply say that where Black people have to be 2 3 4 times better than white people. I was taught that as growing up. I found out when I did industrial work for over 25 years. Okay, I found that when I am excellent at my job and the next person up is white and I got the potential to replace them, whether it be my education, whether it be my knowledge, whether it be me going to different classes on my weekend off and getting those accreditations or those certificates and things of that nature. I went and do all of that. Well, guess what? The next thing happens. They start plotting to get you fired. Okay. And the reason why, because they're afraid that you're going to take their position.
It threatened.
And
Yeah,
this has happened
threatened.
to me
That
about
many?
7
Wow.
times. Okay. This has
Woo.
happened. Yeah. This has happened to me about as soon as I turn the my area around and start doing it the way it's supposed to be, and they see it on record, this Negro want
Yep.
my job.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that be.
Yeah.
This Negro
That
want
can
my job. So then all
that
of a
right
sudden,
there can
I never
cause mental illness. Right there. That right there can cause some type of mental stress. Right there.
don't you know it takes a while to get another job of that type of level. Okay, I lived in South Georgia, and I worked at a plant near Quitman, Georgia. Okay, it's a big lumber plant. Well, we did was make oriented stranding board, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Uh, Mr. Langdale used to come, and he would wait until I was on shift. I'm on shift. Then he would bring like bank presidents, college presidents, senators, all kinds of upper echelon people, because they had built this big old control area, control plant with so many different variables and knobs and all this kind of stuff to get it going. Well, he liked the way that I explained it to them, the whole process of the whole plant. He liked the way
Mm.
he said, nobody's ever explained it the way you explained it, Willis. They call me Willis, okay? And so he would always wait until I was on shift. Well, I can't say always, but most of the time he would wait until I was on shift to get people to come to explain these to these highfalutin people how the process worked and what my area of responsibility was. He loved it, okay, because it was so thorough. I had it down to a science. It was so thorough. Matter of fact, I didn't even need to look back at what I was looking at. I could tell them what it was. Okay, he loved that
Mm.
because he knew he had somebody who actually knew what they was talking about. But guess what happened? And this is what I talk about when a white person is above you and you're you're not management. Okay, so they started plotting. Well, one day I forgot to put two numbers in a box, and that was the end of it. That was their reason to say, "Hey, you need to. We can't have you not filling out the that type of stuff, and whatnot." I felt it coming. That's why I
Wow.
already was talking to somebody else about a job, okay? Because the spirit will tell you what time it is and what's going on. And it's amazing how people can praise you. Have you ever seen that before? They could praise you the week before, 2 days before they can praise you, and then 3 days later you ain't got no job. Has
You
that
find,
ever
yeah,
happened to
they do
you?
that. Yeah,
They
exactly.
will
They will do that.
they
Hmm.
will praise. I never seen it, and this is why I say that. Well, I better not say that. But this is why I say that we have to be very, 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 very careful. Okay. Especially being a black man. And you want to talk about being triggered. You want to talk about being lonely because when all this happens, you still have bills to pay. The bills don't
Yeah.
go out just because you ain't got no job.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And whatnot. And so, mentally, mental health speaking, we have to be cognizant of our own work environment, who we work with, what their attitudes are towards our own race, okay? And what their attitude is towards us individually, okay?
Yeah.
Because they will tell you one thing, and when actuality, they're thinking another. Okay, but it's okay because I know that God got it. You know what I'm saying? I know God got it. I know He knows what He's doing, but it still don't find. See, here's the thing: there's a scripture in the Bible, and I want you to remember this one, Katrina. The Bible says that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Now you heard that scripture before, right? You heard that scripture before, right? But
Period.
guess what? People don't tell you. They don't tell you how long the night is going to be.
Come on.
They never tell you how long the night is going to be.
It can
Weeping,
be
oh, weeping
40
may
nights or
endure the
40
night.
years.
God comes in the morning. They can sit back and hold their ear. Yeah, they was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights.
There you
Okay.
go.
And then another time they was in the wilderness for 40 years. Okay.
Woo.
Until that older generation died out, according to Exodus. Okay. So Jesus was out in the wilderness for 40 nights. See, people don't tell you how long the night. I know this metaphorically speaking. People don't tell you how long the night is. All they want to do is get to the part that say joy comes in the morning. But you got to get to the morning.
Mm.
And while
Yep.
you're going through, back to the mental health thing, it's all a mental thing. Some people make it to the morning. Some people don't.
Right.
But I think if we solve the black community's stereotypes on mental health, then that person will be able to make it till the morning. Okay.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna cry, you're gonna weep, you're gonna do all those things. But I think if our community can quash this thing where putting the stereotype and making people feel bad about going to see a mental health counselor and things of this nature, then that person stands a 90% chance of getting better, of being
Yeah.
a better person and whatnot.
I
Now,
agree.
should a person go get a mental evaluation before you get you get married? Hey, both of y'all go get one. Okay.
Yeah,
Both of y'all
I said.
go
I
get
said
one.
both. Yeah, I
Now,
did say both. Both can
okay.
get one.
Both no, but I don't want you to go together.
Okay.
Okay. No, none of this going together stuff. No, 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 no. You go to your shrink and he go to his shrink and both of y'all come back shrunk. Okay. So
I got a
so
question on that. Okay, so let's just say, all right, you go
yeah, go
get
ahead.
it, you go to the shrink and you get diagnosed and the doctor find that you got bipolarism or whatever. And then I go and the doctor finds that I'm schizophrenic or whatever. Are you still gonna love me the same, or is it gonna be like, oh, I don't know, is that stigma gonna kick in? Because
You know,
that will kick
well,
in.
well, see,
But I'm getting the help that I
first of
need. At
all,
least I
Lady
know
K,
what
let
I
me,
have and I can take the medicine and do the
yeah,
tools and everything.
okay,
Are you
o-
still gonna love me or are
okay,
you gonna look at
okay,
me
babe.
differently?
I will always love you, Katrina. But no, okay, okay. Here's the thing, right? You go to your street, according to HIPAA laws, the doctor can't tell him what's going on with you,
Oh, of course,
even
I
if
know
you
that.
marry, even if you married. Okay. Now, here's the thing: the doctor can't tell you what's going on with him.
Right.
So, what he said is wrong with you. You work on those issues. What what the other doctor, male or female, said is wrong with him, he work on his issues.
Makes
Then
sense.
you
Makes
come
sense.
together. If you
Makes
want to,
sense. Don't
if
don't
you,
don't
yeah,
disclose. So basically, you're saying don't disclose everything. Just keep certain
no, 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 no,
things
no.
confidential.
Don't tell. Don't. Yeah, I went to the doctor. The doctor and I, we discussed some things. Right now, Katrina, I don't feel like discussing them with you. Let me work on these things, and because these are things that I don't want you to help me with, because you can't help me with them. You understand? Because
Right.
I had them before, or I got them. Well, maybe you might be the problem because maybe I picked them up since I started dating you. Okay, no, I'm just playing, but 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 as far as that is concerned, I think that both the it could be a good idea to a certain extent, okay, to a certain extent, because you want to be able to learn and grow each other without a doctor trying to lead you and tell you how you should be with each other. Okay?
Mm.
Because every marriage will be different and it's set up that way. Okay? One man like cabbage, another one like collard greens, another one like spinach, another one like mustard green. But guess what? They all in the leaf family, right? You see what I'm
Right.
saying? But they just different aspects of the man. Okay. And the woman might be different. You see what I'm saying? She
Mm-hmm.
might not eat what he eats. But guess what? She's not hungry. Why? She can feed off of him. He can feed off of her, both mentally and physically. Okay? So don't let no shrink or anybody come in and tell you how you should be with your spouse or with your boyfriend or with your fiance or whatever. Tell them, hey, look, I come to you because I want to see about myself. I want to get myself together in order to fit what I feel like a wife should be.
I agree.
That's what I would say to you. So would I take a psychological evaluation?
Would
Uh
you?
yeah, I guess I would. Yes, I would. But she wouldn't know anything about it. Okay. I
Okay.
would
Yeah.
work on it myself. Okay. If and let her enjoy the fruits of what I worked on with myself, not with her sort of steering me to do it and whatnot, because that could lead to like a takeover mechanism. You trying to
Yeah.
run somebody's life. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
no,
Right.
you don't want that. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I
But
also wanted to
you know,
go
the
into I wanted to go in, not to cut you off, but you
Mhm.
you you cooking, you cooking. But I want to go into
Go ahead,
code
baby.
switching. Code switching. And then we
Hmm.
can take it home. Code
Well,
switching, and then
well,
the last bullet point would be spiritual aspect. But we want to go into the code switching. Go ahead.
okay, but well, the code switching is a natural element of the black community. We have to code switch. Okay, if we want to maintain our positions in in society, as far as see, we can't speak jive on the job. We, we can't speak black English vernacular on the job, certain jobs. Okay, so we
Mm-hmm.
have to code switch and go back to old English. Nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Yeah.
But we have to change our mannerisms. You can't wear no bushy ass afro on the job.
All right.
You can't. You can't be too Afrocentric. Okay. So what you do, you have the code switch. You got to wear a pressed on wig again, or straighten your hair some kind of way.
Yep.
That's another code switch. Now, and the thing about it is the Supreme Court has said that they have a right to tell you how they want you to dress. That businesses have a right to tell you how they want you to dress. So you're forced to code switch. Okay.
Yeah.
And code switch happens in a lot of different ways. Okay, you got it. All code switching is conforming to the society or the place where you are either working or aspire to work or from a neighborhood standpoint. Okay, you because black people have to code switch all the time when they go to see their jobs and things like that. In other words, it can't be the hood at the job. It has to be what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
and so we have to code switch. Now we code switch back when we get back to our community. Okay, I ain't got to be that because
Right.
I'm not on this job. I'm at my house. I'm doing me, or you're doing you, as per se, and whatnot. Did you say from a spiritual standpoint? What was your last bullet?
That was the last thing that we were going to get into, the
What was your
spiritual
last bullet?
aspect of the mental health. Yeah. And how does that coincide? How does that intertwine with each other? The spiritual aspect of mental health.
Well,
Does it
I
affect it,
think
or does
if
it?
number one,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not, I think number one, if you're not mentally prepared for what God has for you, then Satan can come down and mess up your destiny. Okay.
Mm,
So we got to be really careful about our own mentality because God can tell you to do something, but the devil can say, "Oh, you can't do that." Just like, okay, for instance, you got a master's degree. Not only was people telling you that you can't do this, but I'm pretty sure at some point Satan is saying in your ear, "Hey, why you trying to do this? You ain't. This ain't necessary. You ain't got to do this. You ain't got to do that to get to where you're going when you already know that it takes what you was doing to get to where you are now." Okay, you already know that. So you have to have the mentality in your mind to say, "Hey, what did Jesus say?" Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan." Okay, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say, "Get behind me, whoever you are," because it ain't necessarily
right.
got to be Satan. It could be people that mean you well, that can mess you up mentally. Put
Ooh.
God. See, I'm trying to behave myself right now. I'm trying to behave. It could be people that you love that can mess you up. Okay. Your dream is your dream. God put that in your mind. God put that in your spirituality. God put that in your mindset. That, hey, look, you asked me, you said you want to own a business. You want to go to school. Now, here's the thing about God, and I tell teenagers this all the time. I say, look, and I tell college students this more than I do teenagers because I support what 10, 11 kids in college right now in Africa. Okay. I pay their tuition, I buy them food, I do all of those things. It's not to praise me, but it's to praise God. Please understand, okay? Because they need that. They need that help. Okay. So here's the thing. You can ask God to, and I told my students this all the time in Africa. I put they behind on a scope call or what Skype call or through Facebook or WhatsApp. I talk to them, say, look, I got you in school. The Lord got you in school through me. But guess what? God don't do no homework. Okay. God say he'll get you in school, but he don't do homework. He don't do. You got to do your own homework. Okay, that's right. Okay, so you do
Okay.
what you're supposed to, and you fulfill your dream. But back to the spiritual side of this. If you are not mentally ready for the blessing that God has you, how can He give you something that's perfect? Because the Bible say every good and perfect gift comes from above. Okay, so if it's a gift from God, it's perfect. Number one. Okay, but if you are not mentally able to understand it, then the aspect of Him giving it to you to mess up His name, that's not going to happen. It's just
Mm.
not going to happen. And here's the thing I would leave you with. Don't you know God already know what's wrong with you?
Oh, of course, yes,
If you
definitely,
say you got a mental problem, don't you know God already know what's wrong with you?
yes,
If he knows everything, and he does, if he's omnipresent, he's there. If he's omniscient,
absolutely.
then he knows all things. So we don't have to worry about it from a spiritual standpoint as far as God is concerned, but we do have to worry about it from a physical and mental standpoint as far as from as the earth is concerned, because people will still put stumbling blocks in your way. If they
Mm.
see you trying to do something good, they will try to put stumbling blocks in your way. But then that's where the mental health in Black people, i.e., the community, comes into place, because greater is he that is within you than he that is in the world. And you, if you keep that,
Period.
if you could put God in front, okay, keep put God in front, then everything, I declare, everything will be all right. Everything not only be all right, but it'll be great. But let's get back to this mental health in the Black community thing real quick, okay? And I want all the
Hold on,
Purple
one
Hearts to
second,
know,
sir.
okay?
1 second, 1 second. My
That
okay, I got somebody in the chat. My
all right.
friend Tyra. I want to read
Oh,
her comment.
okay.
She said, very true. She said, we grew up being told Black people didn't need to seek professional help because it was considered crazy. But what's crazy is some of us still believe that. Yeah. You heard me? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
And
you.
that's
Yeah,
true,
and
Tyra.
she is right.
We grew up,
Yes, I hear you.
thinking,
And
no, no, I was saying,
she is very.
yeah.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cliff. I'm sorry.
Talk
There's
to
a
her.
delay.
Go
There's
ahead.
a delay. That's why. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Talk to her.
No, I was saying
No,
she's
no, no. Go ahead,
correct.
baby. You good?
She she's correct because we did grow up thinking that getting professional help is you're crazy and you just go to church. That's what I grew up on. I grew up, oh, just pray about it. Go to church. God to get it off of you and this and that and the third. So we had, we had parents that prayed stuff off of us, even though I mean, they meant well. They meant well, but we still needed some professional. So a lot of us needed professional help, and a lot of parents too, was in denial. So let's just say your child is ADHD or your child has some kind of autism or whatever. They wouldn't take them to go get help because, oh, I prayed off of them, or God, they'll grow out of it. God will see them through, and it ain't nothing wrong with that boy, ain't nothing wrong with that girl. You're doing a disservice by doing that. Get the kids some help. Get your people some help. Don't deny them of the help. But I think that's why we're having this
Okay.
conversation, because Black people is just, the blinders are on. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I was coming up, Katrina, I'll tell you this story. And then when I was coming up, my mother said when I was 3, 4 years old that I would have what they call epileptic seizures, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is something that your body adjusts to and you grow out of. Mental health is not something that your body can adjust to and grow out of. What you have to do is you have to adopt, you have to adapt to it. Okay? You
Right,
can't,
right.
because here's the thing. Just because just because you've learned how to deal with triggers, just because you've learned how to deal with triggers, don't mean you won't get triggered. It does not mean that at
Mm.
all. Okay? It just means you got the elements to deal with them now. And that's what we want the Black community to be. We want the elements, because people gonna steadily put stuff in your face. They're gonna do, that's the nature of evil. Okay?
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
I should say the nature of wickedness, because wickedness is different than evil. Evil is that thing that God said, no. People are always going to put stuff in your face, but But what we need is our black brothers and sisters to have the means, to have the wherewithal mentally to deal with that situation when that situation comes up. And just because you have the means and the wherewithal mentally to deal with that situation does not mean it's not going to come back up. It's going to come back up, and it's going to come back in different ways.
Yeah.
Okay? In different, it's going to come at you from every kind of different way. But guess what? You still got mentality to deal with that situation.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Um, yeah, like Tyra said, you God does everything. God is everything, but we still have to do the work physically on this earth, on this plane. You still have to do the work. And like
Absolutely.
I said, I would encourage parents, I now this is one thing I can say about my mom. Growing up, she got me and my sister evaluated because she knew that, okay, I need to see what's going on with my daughters or whatever. She did get us I remember that. She got us evaluated when we were kids because she wanted to understand,
Well, see,
is there any
well,
issues?
see,
Are there any problems or whatever? A lot of parents don't want to do that because they think, oh, ain't no wrong with my child, because they think it's something wrong with them, that their child is having some delays or whatever. No, don't deny that kid, because you're doing a disservice, because they're going to get older one day and they got to deal with the earth and they got to deal with people on this earth, and if they have issues, it's just not, it's not good. So are you there, boo?
that is that is correct, baby.
Okay.
Um, I will end it. I will end today's conversation with this. I want to thank you for inviting me to come, and hopefully this will be the start of something very, very, very not only helpful and beautiful, but beneficial to the black community and to us personally. I've learned a lot. I
Yes.
learned a lot today from you. I've learned a lot from from um from just studying the issue. It's like the Bible clearly tells us that my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. Okay. And once if we can get our people to that level where they accept going to the triad, which is the psychologist, psychiatrist, and counselor, as normal, then I think our whole community will not only be blessed, but we will have a more stable place and a more fruitful community. And that's what my goal was today, to tell people, hey, you're going to have some triggers. Let's find solutions. Okay?
Absolutely, brother. Where can they
That's it.
find you, Cliff? Where can they find you? They might want to hit you up for some questions. You're rare as far as in the black community. We need more male mentors to step up. Male mentors. If you over 40, you an elder. I don't want to hear it. You an elder if you over 40. We need more black male mentors to step it on up and start being a mentor for these brothers out here. But where can they find you, Cliff? You cut off? Hello? Oh, I think that's it. Hold on. Cliff, come back out and come back in. In the meantime, yeah, Tyra, I see your comments. You said, and to have the maturity to admit it and take accountability. Yes, because she care and understand we can't do it all right, all by ourselves. We are parents, not professionals. I love this, Trina. Keep it going. We need more platforms like this. Yes, honey. Thank you. Something happened with the live with Cliff, but his name is Clifford Dotson. He's on Facebook, and I think he's on Instagram. Clifford Dotson. It's easy. Just type it in if you have any questions or whatever. He's always dropping gems, and he's always coming. But we're gonna be coming. We're gonna be going live at least once a week, and we're gonna stay on these type of topics because it's much needed in the black community, especially. So I am signing off. It's been real. Purple hearts. Hey, put some purple hearts in the chat. And yes, have a great rest of your weekend. Salute. I'm out.